Special thank you to my patrons and YouTube members for supporting my channel. How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to a different type of video today. Sorry, I just slapped the microphone. So I'm returning to the whole fake disorder cringe subject, but I'm not specifically looking at the subreddit today, although this is inspired by the subreddit, because it's getting a bit old. Nothing's really changing, nothing new has come around in the subject. It's just the same old, and my opinion on it and the things I would say about it wouldn't really change. So to get my opinion, just the old videos are good enough. However, I did see on the subreddit that people have started selling merch, and that just doesn't sit right with me. So the one that came up on the subreddit was this, which is a backpack that says, "We exist, dissociative identity disorder." So yeah, it's a backpack about just announcing to the world that you have DID, I guess, which generally don't people with DID kind of not tell every single person they meet everywhere about it, especially in public? I don't know. But the thing that really got me, and that's what really made me want to look at this, that's what bothered me out of everything, is that this backpack, a really average looking backpack, is $50. $50. If there's one thing that bothers me more than people faking disorders, it's selling merch for extortionate prices to already vulnerable people. So we're gonna take a look at fake disorder merch today, shall we? So to start with, I went to Redbubble because I feel like Redbubble is the perfect place to look for this kind of thing, because absolutely anyone can make merch. And naturally, because it's Redbubble, it's not going to be extortionate prices, but also probably not going to be the best quality shirts. So this shirt says, "Ignore the blinking, I'm on autopilot." And immediately the question that came to my mind was, do you just wear the shirt and assume you'll go into autopilot? Do you know? If you're dissociating, you're not gonna have time to quickly change your shirt. You're not gonna think about that, right? So you have to wear it preemptively in the assumption that you're going to be, and then if you're not, you're just wearing the shirt. It's just not very smart. And then I think from the same seller was, "I don't care, I can just dissociate." That's not how that works. You can't just dissociate on demand. So 2 for 2 there in just putting misinformation or bad texts on shirts. Then followed by, "It doesn't matter if you don't like my personality, I've got several others." They don't call them personalities though, they call them alters. So it's just, again, this one feels even insulting. Like, it's an even worse made shirt. And then following that, we have 2 variations of this one saying, "DID is my superpower," and "DID is my superpower," which is romanticizing a mental illness. At the end of the day, that's what that is. They're saying that having DID gives them superpowers, which it doesn't. They're romanticizing having a mental illness and saying, "Oh, everyone should be jealous that they don't have DID," and walking around with that on a t-shirt. And that's just, I don't know how to feel about that, but it's not good. And then we have this one that came up which says, "Hey, I like your personality. Thanks, it's ADHD." ADHD isn't a personality. It's not a replacement for one. You have a personality outside ADHD. At least everyone I've met with ADHD does. It doesn't make up your entire personality to have ADHD. And a never give up dissociative identity disorder warrior with a dabbing unicorn. Just, if it couldn't get any more cringe, it's got a dabbing unicorn on it. That's bad. That's bad. That's just, it's not a good sticker. I don't like it. Is it even a sticker, or is it just printed on a flask? At least if it's a sticker, you can put it wherever you want. If it's just printed on a flask. And then the next 3 I've got here, I don't know how to feel about, because they've co-opted the awareness ribbons. You know, the ribbons most famously, for example, I think everyone's going to have known of the pink ribbon, which is breast cancer awareness, right? Or I believe the red one is heart disease. You know, there's a couple like that that are like illnesses that kill people, and DID merch people have co-opted the ribbon system to make DID awareness ribbon merch, which I just find really gross. I took 3 screenshots here. 2 of them are using like a teal color. One of them is using like a rainbow mosaic. I also saw one that was like dark blue. So they're not even consistent on coloring. They can't decide. All 3 of these, there were a lot of all 3 of these days. So they aren't even consistent in that. But it just feels weird to co-opt that, especially right now, especially with everything that's going on, with the amount of people faking having this illness. Making awareness merch that all of the fakers are gonna wear just feels weird. I don't like that, you know? Yeah, anyway. So then I found another website. I want to mention, by the way, that any websites or accounts or anything I'm not going to be mentioning the names of. If you stumble across these websites in your own searching, please don't go and harass them or message them or rate them poorly or do anything like that. I don't want any of that to come from this. I don't want you guys to harass people. I have a genuinely pretty good community, and I don't think anyone really in my community would even think of doing that. But like, please, if you're the kind of person that would think of doing that, don't do that. I don't want anyone to harass anyone. Anyway, I stumbled across a website specifically dedicated to making DID merch, and it might as well just be Redbubble or something, because all of their prints were just photoshopped images onto shirts. None of them were like actually photos of those shirts. But the first thing I noticed was they have endogenic merch. And first things first, endogenic systems aren't real. You can't be a dissociative identity disorder system without trauma. It's a key part of having the mental illness is trauma. So there is that. They have 3 pieces of endogenic merch. Well, they have more, but I photoed 3. That is this bag, this hoodie, and this t-shirt. And the second thing I noticed after the fact that they have endogenic pride flags, which is gross. Endogenic systems are not a part of pride, just end of. But anyway, the flag is so tiny. Imagine buying a tote bag or a hoodie or a t-shirt and it's got a little badge on it that's that big. You might as well just get a tote bag and print it yourself. At least on a tote bag, you'd expect it to be bigger, right? But it's just tiny and in the middle. And they don't even have it like on one side, like a badge would be, you know? They have it in the middle of the hoodie and the shirt. It just looks bad. It's tiny. Just get the black hoodie. Like, the least you'd think is that if a website is dedicated to putting these on shirts and stuff, which they were, and they had lots and lots of system flags, you'd think the least they would do is actually make them decent merch. If you're gonna make a whole website dedicated to it, at least make your merch good. Anyway, we're gonna move on. So then I moved on to Etsy. This is where I got the most of my posts and also some of the worst of my posts. So to start with, there's one specific account that I looked into quite a lot because I saw this come up on Etsy first, and it's this hat that says "F*** off singlet." And in my videos previously, I made a joke about how singlet is the new slur for people that don't have DID. And a couple of people didn't realize I was joking. And I was joking because I know it's not a slur, but the way it's used in some of the DID videos, they use it like it's a slur, like it's wrong to be a singlet, right? And this is the perfect example of that. A hat that says "F*** off singlet." But, and this is the thing that really got me, this is a not very high quality hat. It's just a mesh hat, right? It's £42. You're paying £42 for that hat. And that's not all. I had a look into this account because that annoyed me. They sell a t-shirt, which you can barely see because it's on a white background, but they have a bunch of different colors. £35 for a t-shirt that just has text on it that says "F*** off singlet." £35. Or, right, you can get one that says "My alters don't like you" for £35. I really hope that doesn't become the new normal people scare me, because it might. £35 for a t-shirt. And if that wasn't enough, okay, nearly £30 for a mug that says "F*** off singlet." £30 for a mug. What? This is also an American store, so that's gonna be even more in dollars, right? And then moving on, £40, £42 for a stuffed toy of, I don't know what size it is even. They don't have listed anywhere what size it is. You could get a bunny, bear, an elephant, or a lamb for £40. If the rest of their pricing is anything to go by, it's gonna be about the size of my hand for £40. This is actually just capitalizing on mental disorders and selling stuff for extortionate prices based on mental disorders. And this isn't even the worst of it, okay? They're selling a DID system tree ornament for Christmas for nearly £30. And you might go, oh, maybe it's just really high quality, but judging by the pictures, it's just just a ceramic thing with text printed on it. So it's not even that high quality. And you might go, maybe ceramic's expensive. I don't know. I don't know the economy on ornaments. The rest of their stuff is ludicrously expensive. So obviously that is. However, they also have a wooden one. This is a Pride one. It's not related to everything else. And it's still nearly £30 for a wooden ornament. It's obscene. That's obscene, right? They're charging extortionate prices, capitalizing on a trend of faking mental disorders to make insulting shirts saying "fuck off singlet." How gross is that? That's awful. I hate that. I hate the fact that that exists. And I just wanted to also point out, this is all coming from a place that sells Pete Davidson merch, specifically Pete Davidson simp merch as well. They have a mug for nearly £30. You can spend nearly £30 to get a mug that says Pete Davidson can spit in my mouth, or a beanie that says Pete Davidson can smash for £42 for a beanie that says Pete Davidson can smash. What? This is the same one that made all of the other stuff. There's another one that says future Mrs. Pete Davidson for £42, and Pete Davidson can spit in my mouth during a global pandemic for nearly £30 for a mug. What? Where does this come from? On a site that has DID merch and like a bit of Pride merch for extortionate prices, and then randomly just Pete Davidson simp merch for still extortionate prices. This is the rabbit hole I've gone down. And I hope you guys appreciate the effort I've had to put in here, because Etsy and Redbubble are going to be recommending me DID and Pete Davidson merch now till the end of my life. And there's nothing I can do about that because I've had to click on every single one of these to take the photos. So now Etsy thinks I'm interested in it. Oh boy. And then I also screenshotted a large assortment of like random necklaces and bracelets. So there's this one that sells OSDD necklace, just in case you needed to announce to the world that you have it, or a DID necklace because you need to announce to the world that you have it, a bracelet that says DID, and these are all fairly cheap. And like, that's fine, they're not extortionate price, but like, do you need these? Do you really need these? DID. And then you've got like PTSD and CPTSD, and they're really colorful and bright. This to me feels like they're now infantilizing PTSD, which like, even if you have CPTSD, if you're an adult, do you really want that mental illness infantilized? You're still an adult, right? Would you not want to be treated like one? I understand that age regression's a thing and people like young things and it comforts them and etc. But other people infantilizing that feels gross to me. And then there's also an OCD one, and someone is fronting. Again, really childish and infantilized. Oh, and I didn't even realize this has Endogenic in the title. Are those the Endogenic pride flag colors? That's even worse. I didn't even realize, and that makes this even worse. They've infantilized it and are supporting endo systems. I'm not having a good time, guys. I'm not having a good time. There was one account I found in all of this looking, and I am gonna have their name in this, that made good merch, okay? And they genuinely made good stuff, which is why I am going to be putting their name in, because I think they deserve, because they make good stuff. To start with, I wasn't sure, because they had a badge that said, "Stop perpetuating mental illness as a cute personality quirk." And like, I agree with that as a message. I very much agree. But one thing I have noticed in making videos on these is that people that fake disorders quite often will put down other fakers because they think it makes them look more legit if they tell other people off for fetishizing it, right? For making it look great and for talking about how amazing it is. There are fakers that put down other fakers like that because they think that you'll go, oh, if they're putting down other people, clearly they're real. And I was concerned that this would be one of those. This is actually from Doodle People, and they make legitimately good stuff. So that's the first one I saw, and it's a message I agree with, which then went into this really nice enamel pin which says "Your anxiety is lying to you." And that's a really nice, and they do that in multiple colors, and they're really nice, and I appreciate that as a pin because that's a good message, you know? And then there was a "You need to eat" pin for people recovering from eating disorders. Again, a really nice enamel pin. They had "Nobody earns billions," so they've got anti-corrupt capitalism merch. They had a shopping bag that says "Self-care is not selfish." I think they had a couple of pins that said that as well. well. Again, a nice message. It's actually okay to quit if you need to, badge. You should be really proud of yourself, badge. Be kinder to yourself, badge. You are doing your best. Like, those are all of the ones I screenshotted, but there were hundreds of the things on their page with genuinely good messages. So I'm ending it on a high note. A good account making good stuff for people that need it. All of the other stuff can burn in a fire. They're all awful, they're corrupt, whatever. I just wanted to end it on a happier note because looking at all of these made me lose my mind. And that's where I'm going to end the video, everybody. This is a bit of a different one, but I hope you enjoyed it. I wanted to talk on the subject of fake disorder stuff, but like, I didn't want to just make another video on r/fake disorder cringe because it's all just the same stuff. So yeah, anyway, if you want to support me in making more content like this, then I have a Patreon in the description down below, or equally you can click the join button on my channel to support me. It helps a lot more than you might realize, but by no means should you feel like you have to. I am going to keep making content regardless. Just a little announcement, I've been saying this in a lot of videos, but I am streaming every Thursday, UK time, 7 PM to 10 PM, so definitely go check out my Twitch. Link is in the description, so go drop by and say hi. Special thank you to all of my supporters, everyone over at my Patreon and all of my YouTube members for supporting my content. You guys make such a consistent amount of money. That was a weird way of wording that. You guys make the money I earn through making content, I can't talk. You make it way more consistent because YouTube AdSense fluctuates heavily from month to month. So having supporters really makes that more consistent. So thank you everyone that supports me. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, everybody, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.